This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. It's Wednesday today, which means I'm dealing with questions and queries and just general requests for information generated by you, my loyal viewer. If you have any questions that you'd like to see answered on the show, anything remotely guitar or music related, then drop me a line at jrguitartuition@gmail.com, or you can use the email form on the lessons page of my website, which you can see the address on screen and there's a link in the description, or you can just drop a comment in the comments to either this video or any of the others. I get to see them all, and just let me know what's on your mind and I'll try and hopefully answer it in a video. Here is a request that came in via the comments section on one of these solo analysis videos that I tend to put out on a Monday.
Hi John, great and thorough solo analysis, thanks. By the way, you mentioned you wanted to do a Q&A feature on a Wednesday, but I couldn't find an email, so I'm hijacking this comments box. How do you do the drums when you record a piece to demo a bit of gear? Also, how do you structure your demo pieces? I've noticed there's always a shift in dynamics, usually indicated by a change in drum pattern, but is there a songwriting formula that you tend to follow? Cheers mate, keep up the good work.
Now, I've already done a video on how I do the drums and how I put a piece of music together. It's something like how I use Reaper or something like that, which is the DAW that I use. If you missed that video, I'll link to it down in the description box below. It shows you basically me putting a piece of music together from start to finish using Reaper and all the different plugins I use to get drums and all that kind of good stuff. So if you're interested in that, go and check that out. But this is one of a few requests that I've had for kind of more of a how do you do what you do kind of videos. Basically people are wanting a behind the scenes look. So what I'm going to do today is show you how I go about making a video. The video in question is going to be the one that goes out tomorrow, and we'll talk about what that's all about in a moment. But first of all, let me show you where as well as how I'm going to be making the video. Okay then, welcome to my place of work. If I'd thought ahead, I'd have tidied up a little bit, but you'll just have to take me as you find me. Guitars on the wall there, there's the Indie, there's the bass that I use, a Frankenstein Telecaster, my Larry Carlton S7. There's a nice signed poster, Don Airy, deep purple poster, very important information. Harley Benton CST24 with P90s, Nashville Telecaster, and again, more important information on the wall right there. Panning down, you can there's another nice guitar there, the Offset that Pete built me. There's the PC that I do most of my video and audio editing on, and this is where I sit doing Zoom calls and pieces to camera for YouTube videos. Coming around to this side of the room, there's the new edition, the workbench, and you can see all the junk and everything piled up in there. Guitars aplenty, strewn all over the place. There's me Les Paul Faisley Telecaster there, there's my PRS, and there's Blondie just sat on the end there, and that's what they all get plugged into, the Marshall DSL1 combo. And this is where I'll be sitting doing the next piece to camera to tell you what the video is all about. Here we are. So the video we're going to be making in today's video is concerning this guitar. This is my ERT GW2 Pro, which you've possibly seen the video where I did the unboxing and then the full review and everything. If you've seen any of those videos, then you'll know the thing that I wasn't overly keen on was the sound of the pickups in this guitar. So I'll put some new ones in and I'll tell you all about those tomorrow. These are Alnico 2 kind of vintage PAF style humbuckers, as opposed to the kind of hotter Alnico 5 humbuckers that this guitar comes with. But that's all for tomorrow's video. What I'm going to do now is basically start going through how I'm going to put a demo piece together for this, what I want from that demo piece, how it's going to be structured, and the different kind of elements that it needs to contain. Okay then, so for a demo piece, it needs, I think, to demonstrate the breadth of tones that the average guitarist is going to need to get out of a guitar, or an amp, or whatever product we're talking about. In this case, it's a set of pickups. So what are those tones then? Well, you're going to need some kind of clean, strummy kind of tones, usually just for general accompaniment, cowboy chords or funky stuff or whatever. So we're going to want to see how it behaves with a clean sound. Then we're going to want some sort of edge of breakup lead guitar for bluesy kind of lead, think kind of maybe Mark Knopfler lead guitar rather than, Eddie Van Halen lead guitar. Then we're going to want some high gain lead sort of stuff to show the kind of the full on full throttle raw of the product, the pickups in this case. Then we're going to want obviously some sort of crunchy power chord riffy sort of stuff as well to kind of get in there to see how it handles kind of classic rock and blues rock tones. So this is usually the kind of structure I go with. I'll start with an intro, which is where I'll introduce the crunchy power chord riffy sort of stuff. Then that's going to lead us into verse 1, where I'm going to be demonstrating the clean, strummy, chordy kind of sounds. Verse 2 is we're going to keep that sound going. The band have arrived by this point. There's bass and drums happening, and the clean, strummy stuff continues. But this is where I'll start putting in a little bit of low gain lead. These kind of lead parts for these verse sections I do like to kind of semi-compose in advance, so there's some sort of recognizable theme going on there, so that it gives us some kind of hook, really. Then we're into the chorus at that point, which is where we reintroduce that sort of crunchy power chordy riffy sort of thing that's going on. And this time there'll be just kind of some improvised high gain lead over the top, basically a guitar solo, if you want to think of it like that. Then we're back to the clean, strummy stuff with the low gain lead again, just to add a little bit of contrast. And then we're going to go to the chorus again for the crunchy power chord sort of sound with the high gain improv lead over the top of it, and then we're going to double that up, basically kind of just building up to the big finish essentially. So I do like to do that sort of double length solo slash chorus at the end, usually with a bit more energy in the drums in that second half of it, just to kind of give it that sense of reaching some kind of climax. So what I need to do is come up with essentially two parts as a starting position here. I need that sort of crunchy power chord kind of part which I'm going to use as the intro and the basis for the later solos, and I need the clean, strummy kind of part as well for the verses. So regarding the crunchy power chord sort of thing, in the best Blue Peter tradition, here's one I prepared earlier. I can do something with that, I think. And then that's sort of in the key of A minor. I guess you could say it's based around an A power chord, which is neither major nor minor, but the presence of this C note here that crops up a couple of times, that indicates that A power chord is functioning as an A minor. So I like to put a key change in at some point, just to give it a little bit of contrast. So I'm going to go for the verse sections, for the strummy kind of chordy part, I'm going to go to a different but related key of F major. And this is the chord sequence I've got for that. It's going to basically go F, C, A minor, B flat, then F again, G minor, a borrowed chord, an E flat, down to a C major again. And that's just going to be the basis of the verse sections. So with those two chord sequences, that riff and that chord sequence there, I've essentially got the basis for the verses and the choruses. Then it's just a case of coming up with some relevant lead stuff to go over the top of both of those parts. So first thing I'm going to do is go and record the backing track that consists of all of those two chord sequences there, arranged, as I say, in this order that we looked at earlier. So let's get recording. Okay, I'm just about to start putting the backing track together, starting to do the drum parts and lay the bass line down. If you're interested, as I say, in how I record stuff in Reaper, then take a look at the video that I've linked down in the description for how I use Reaper to record tracks. what I'm doing now is, as I'm talking to you, by the way, I'm talking to you on the webcam that's on top of the laptop that you saw on my desk in the earlier part of the video. But when I'm recording performances, demo pieces and stuff, or solos for the solo analysis videos, I use my phone, just mounted on a little tripod like this. I use the front-facing selfie camera. Never taken a selfie in my life, but it's the camera I use for doing that kind of thing. It's 1080p, so it's, you know, it's perfectly good quality, and it just gives a little bit better video quality and, you know, less lag than this webcam can tend to sometimes introduce when my fingers are moving rapidly, shall we say. Then I pull the footage off the phone onto that PC there, and hopefully I can sync it all up with the music I've recorded in Reaper. I'm going to be showing you how I do that in a moment as well. But the next thing you're going to see is me laying down some parts of the backing track after I've laying down some guitar parts after I've created the backing track. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, here we are in VideoPad, which is the video editing software I've been using for years. Every single one of my YouTube videos was put together using this. I started off with a free one, but I use the paid for one now, the professional version. What we've got here in this video track one is the some of the footage that you've just seen in that little montage of me recording the tune. The tune is now complete and mixed, and I've filmed up me recording all of the parts of it, and this is basically the intro to the tune. This is the audio file we're working with. This is the audio, the finished mix that I did in Reaper and just outputted it. And now what we're going to do is make sure that the video and the audio are in sync, and here's how I do that. You'll notice most of the time when you see me recording a guitar part, there is a shot of Reaper on screen here. This is my DAW, and if I just drag the cursor across like this, just until we start to see the audio begin to roll on screen on the in Reaper there. So there we go. You'll see the track light up green. There we go, the drum track. There we go. See that? Just look at that top track there. You see it's just kind of getting, the meters are starting to move there in green. So that's what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to scroll back here and get the very instant where that comes on. And I know with a fair degree of certainty that that is the moment when the audio begins to roll in the DAW. And I know that that corresponds to the beginning of the audio file. So if I move the beginning of the audio file to that point in the video, then everything should be in sync. Let's check. And there you go, you see it's all in sync. And then I just repeat that process for the next clip of me, maybe me doing the strummy guitar part or one of the solos or whatever. Just find the point in the audio file down here where you know, the audio starts rolling for that particular take, and then find the point in the video file where the track in question lights up, and I know therefore that that those 2 points are effectively the same thing, and I line them up and everything's in sync. That's how I do it. So in terms of the time it takes to do all of this, well, there's the time it takes for me to do what I'm doing now, which is to sit and talk into a webcam, which I'm recording in OBS Studio, by the way. And do all of this. Then, the main workload, as you can probably gather, is putting that demo piece together, or a demo piece like that together. So I would say from the instant that I open up Reaper and start loading drum plugins and then recording a bass line and then putting the various guitar parts down on top of it and then mixing it and then editing the footage together that I've shot on my phone in the way that you've just seen me doing there, all of that together is probably about 2 or 3 hours work, if you can call it work, because it's something I enjoy doing. And then the other thing that I enjoy doing is tabbing it all out, for my Patreon subscribers. By the way, in case you're interested in how I do the tabbing out kind of thing, I've done another video on that, where I tab out a piece in real time. So if you're interested in that whole process, I'll link to that in the description as well. But that is pretty much the video for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this little glimpse behind the scenes and found it informative in some small way, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. Why not drop me a like while you're at it? Don't forget, as always, the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time, where we drink beer and talk about music and guitars. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.